Hey, this is Big Girl Diary, and I got something to tell you in an update about the Kris Jenner clan. Now, there has been a lot going on behind the scenes, and Kris Jenner had a short period professional relationship with Goldie Hawn. Now, if you don't know who she is, you've been living under a rock. She is Hollywood royalty, and she stays out of the limelight. She's more of a private person, but for some reason, she decided, and her children, Oliver and Kate Hudson, decided to sort of mesh themselves with the Kris Jenner clan, which that didn't last long. They all backed away. Goldie Hawn said, "Hey, Kris Jenner, could you please lose my number?" She did. And then it goes on to Corey Gamble. There is that relationship is on life support, and there's a lot there. Let's get into the Kardashians. Kim Kardashian just got her. Well, Kim Kardashian completed what she said that she was going to be. She was going to be her father's daughter and become a lawyer, and that's exactly what she did. Now, many may mock her and say, "Oh, well, this or that." You can't take away that degree. She earned it. Now, it may have been in an untraditional way, but she has her degree, her law degree, and I say congratulations. That right there is no easy task. Now, it takes the average person about 6 years to get their law degree. You got to go through 4 years of undergrad, getting an English degree, and then you go into pre-law. You get all that stuff done, and then you sort of follow and get some experience. Kim Kardashian has done that, so she has received her degree within a 6-year period. And I gotta say again, congratulations to her. Now, let's go back and talk about Kris and Goldie Hawn. Now, I thought this was interesting, very interesting. Now, Goldie, she's distancing herself from the Kris Jenner clan, like I said earlier. And in the Globe, it says last winter, Goldie Hawn joined her adult children, Kate and Oliver, along with their children, as the face of Skims holiday campaign. Now, keep in mind, the Kris Jenner clan has a lot to do with Skims. Now, Skims was Kanye's baby, but then Kim found a way to take it over, and Kanye said, "Hey, go ahead and take it. Let's see how well you fare." Well, whatever Goldie Hawn saw in this campaign, it made her walk the other way. Oh no, she's not dealing with anything like that. And Goldie Hawn, like I said, is a very private person, and she's Hollywood royalty. So even though that Goldie Hawn is in her 70s, I think she's 75, I believe. 79. She's not interested in being halfway naked. It's just not her thing. Goldie Hawn, that was not her thing. She did not do things such as that. She didn't put herself out there. Now, yes, a sex symbol, most definitely, but she did not carry herself that way every place where she went, and people didn't know her as that. Now, for her personal life, that's something different, but her public life, reserved. Now, Kris, on the other hand, is the complete opposite. Sex sells. So I got to give it to Kris. Kris is a grinder. When she and Robert Kardashian not only went their separate ways, but when Robert Kardashian had a heart attack and died, Kris was left with, what do I do? Now, she learned a lot from her husband, and she took that information and she put it to use. Yes, it was on Kim's back. Oh, yes, it was. Kim was a crash dummy that she put out there to make sure that the family could make money, and then gradually put Khloe into it. Now, Khloe was a little odd, but she sort of found her way and continued on. Now, Kourtney, it wasn't her. Kourtney was like, oh, no, I'm not getting into that crazy mess. She dabbled a little here or there, but it was not her mainstay. No. Now, Kris's younger daughters, Kendall and Kylie, just embraced it. Now, that situation right there is, oh man, I don't even know how Kris Kardashian gets out of bed, or Kris Jenner gets out of bed every day knowing the man that you loved and married had gender dysphoria, and that was one of the reasons why he got a divorce from his first wife. He wanted to be a woman. And it's beyond comprehension how you can be and marry a man that you believe that everything is okay. But as time goes on, and then at some point it's revealed that he was really a woman and wanted to date men while married to a woman, having children, a second family or a third family, and takes zero responsibility for causing all of these disasters. And now Caitlyn Jenner, in her book, blames Kris. I was invisible. She got all the money. No, she was paying the bills. You know, you got to keep the electricity on. You got to pay the mortgage. What are you going to do? Just walk around like nothing ever occurs? But Kris Jenner said something rather interesting. She said that that they never had a discussion. Caitlyn Jenner never sat down and said, this is how I feel. Caitlyn kept all of that to herself until it got to the point that she just had to walk away. And Kris filed for the divorce. She did. Caitlyn walked away and left her there again. So it's like Kris got slighted twice. Now, the first one was not of her control because she did divorce Robert. She was doing some things that was not conducive to Robert and divorced, but shortly after he died. Now, Caitlyn Jenner, I mean, you know, was there for all that time and masking wanting to truly be a woman, but married to a woman and having to present as a man, that caused a lot of issues on some level. And I'm not sure when all of that occurred, but it did. And unfortunately, Kris Jenner again out there by herself. Now, she has been in a relationship with Corey Gamble because she found love again. Sometimes when you are burned like that, that is a level of hurt that just doesn't go away. You're married to a man, have 2 children, and next thing you know, he wants to compete with you for men. It's right there's a level of mind freak. I want to say the other word, but you know what I mean. That's a level of, oh my, I can't even put words to it. How do you come back from that? How do you heal from that level of deception? Okay. So she gets with Corey Gamble. Now, there is no gender dysphoria at all. No confusion. Just straight Corey. This is who I am, and that is it. Now, he is like 20, 24, 25 years younger than Kris. Now, I get why Kris was with Corey. I get it. Men at Kris's age, they don't want women their age. No. Now, I'm not saying that right there is the norm. There are men who want women their age. They don't want to sit there and babysit. They don't want to burp. They don't want to teach. They don't want to go through the stages of life that they already have been through. That right there, I understand. But there are a vast number of men who want that young person that brings new, how do I say, breathes new life into their life. And you can't get that nothing but an 18-year-old to a 21-year-old. I mean, young, and men that age normally have their life settled. They're especially in their 60s and 70s. They're living off their pension. You know, it is what it is. So Kris, you know, men her age are not looking to her. They're looking to her daughters, or better yet, grandchildren. Well, no, they're young. They are looking at the 20-some-odd-year-olds and maybe 30-year-olds, and that right there is too old for men at that age. But however, she got with Corey because that is who she was able to get. And I'm pretty sure maybe there might have been some other men. I mean, look at Cher and AE. Alexander Edwards. Alexander was dealing with Amber Rose, and then Cher swooped down and took her man. And Cher just said one thing: just be nice. Just be nice to men. That's all you have to do. Now, Kris did not take Corey from anybody. They just sort of fell together. And that's how that occurred. So, with that background, now there is a split or a break in their relationship. It seems like it's falling apart. And the rumor is that Kris is too hard to deal with. Now, when you are, as they call, alpha women, alpha men, they sort of get with the beta opposite, or someone who would submit. Now, Corey doesn't seem like the guy who would submit to a woman. But when you're a billionaire and on Kris levels, a Kris Jenner status, then there will be some concessions. And, you know, he gets notoriety. He's out there. People know his name. And he also is sought out by women his age, maybe older, maybe younger. He's at that age of 44 to where he's getting traffic from both ends, from all ends to be exact. And Kris on some level did know that, but maybe it was believed that they can overcome not only the age difference, but to be able to hold on and to have that relationship, to have that happily ever after. Well, there are cracks in that happily ever after. It was stated that Corey Gamble had cheated again. Now, Kris ought to understand that when you have a huge age gap like that, there are some things that Kris is simply not going to keep up with, because she's 69? I mean, she's not going to sit there and you know, romancing the stone 3, 4, 5, 10 times a day. No. She's going to say, I'm going to do it once. I got some work to do. I got to go grind and get some work done. I got to make sure Kim is out there and organizing and managing everything in the businesses. She doesn't have time to sit there and just, you know, roll around in the hay with Corey. Well, I'm not saying that's all he does, because men, as they get older, they sort of slow down. And by him being 40, okay, I'm going to leave that alone. I'm going to leave it alone. But you basically understand what I'm saying. Now, who knows what's going to happen? Who knows? But there are cracks there, and there are cracks in her professional life. They're taking some Kris Jenner, they're taking some hits within their businesses and just trying to hold on. So, with that update, I got one question. What do you think? Please like, comment, and put something down there. Let's have a discussion on this.